joyous day for all of us here in London, England. Today, June 15th, 1216, is the one-year anniversary of the signing of the Magna Carta. And already, so much is changed for the better.
That's right. Now that it has been signed, our king does not have all the power. We have created a government, and everything is much more fair.
For barons, the king not having a lot of power means that they have more power and are treated more fairly.
And it is excellent for the common people as well.
How so?
Well, if they are convicted of a crime that they didn't do, it is more likely they will have a fair ruling. Before, the king would just convict based on the person and not on the crime itself.
It seems as it used to be a coin toss whether or not you were proven guilty. If the king was in a good mood, you were all set. But if he was in a bad mood, he would expect to be sentenced to jail or death.
That does not seem fair.
It most definitely is not. Now we have Parliament, which the Magna Carta paved way for. This makes it so that multiple people are deciding fate, and unlike the king, they put time into judging by the law and making fair decisions.
I'm so happy common people have a chance to prove their innocence.
I know, me too. It is incredible that only a year after the signing of this document, how advanced and fair we have become.
Yes, it's really amazing how fair we have come in our government. Just last year, our king was making all of the decisions that changed our lives. Now we vote in people who we think will represent us well. These representatives are now part of the making of our laws.
It's like we are in the government ourselves.
I know, when new laws are made, I really feel as if I was deciding it on myself.
Yes, as do I.
So far, this special anniversary newscast, we have made exciting segments planned.
First, we will have a flashback to where one of our newscasters interviewed barons before the Magna Carta was signed.
Oh man, I bet that these were not happy barons.
You got that right. But then afterwards, we will have a live interview with barons now and see how much their feelings have changed.
I am excited to observe the different feelings they have.
Yes, I agree. And we will also have footage from the actual signing of the Magna Carta with King John himself. And if we are lucky, a never-before-seen interview will be shown of King John after it has been signed.
I hope they show it. I've always wanted to see this reaction of all of this.
Me too, but I have a feeling that he will not be pleased.
Yes, hopefully, because I'm dying to find out.
Well, we will soon, but first, find out how you can win a trip to see Parliament.
And after that, we will show the flashback of the interviews.
Win a trip to see a beautiful building in London. Come see how much we've changed and how we work together. Now the people have more power instead of the king. We are more equal. Yeah. Come see lawmaking in action and see how equal and fair we are. Send a written paper on why you want to come visit the Parliament.
Welcome. Today we will be interviewing two barons, Ellie and Lito. I will be asking them many questions about King John. They will express their feelings and anger about him. Let's start the questions. Lito, why didn't you like King John?
Well, he was greedy, cruel, and unwilling. He made us suffer and treated us unfairly.
How did he treat you unfair?
He made English barons who owned land in France give it up. He also imprisoned the barons who he thought were annoying or would make them pay heavy fines.
Wow, what a cruel man. Now I see what you were talking about. And why did you want King John to sign the Magna Carta?
Because it gave us barons freedom and King John would have less power to the throne.
Thank you, Lito, for letting us interview you today. Now we will be interviewing Ellie the Baron. So, Ellie, how did King John treat you unfairly?
Oh my God, I don't know where to start. First, he raised taxes, which the barons, us, paid most of. Next, he made us serve in the army, or pay money if we would not go into the army. Then, us barons thought that the king had killed his nephew Arthur. Us barons were very frustrated with King John.
Ellie, what would you say to King John if he was here right now?
Why did you treat us like slaves and make us follow your rules? We all suffered and did things we didn't want to do, and only did what you wanted us to do. We never got word in anything. We all hated you and wanted you to sign the Magna Carta. You made lots of barons poor because of the taxes he raised. I don't think any baron would forget how they were treated and how King John acted. It's a bad memory to keep, but I think people should know what kind of man he was.
Thank you, Ellie and Lito, for telling us about King John. In the end, King John had made lots of barons had a very difficult life before he signed the Magna Carta.
Hello, and welcome to Runnymede. There's a lot of rich history embedded in these meadows. Possibly one of the most important is the signing of the Magna Carta by King John. King John was the monarch of England in the year 1199. He had many powerful enemies, the most powerful probably being his own barons. The barons were angry with King John because of his unfairness towards them. He taxed them and ignored their traditional rights. Because of the first anniversary, the studio would like to take you back to the actual signing of the document. We are moments away from King John arriving at the site of the Magna Carta. The tension is growing. Let's ask one of the barons how they feel about this historical event.
We are anxious for King John to put a seal on this document. Having this document will give us freedom as well as rights to our own land. Everything is set up so this will be as easy as possible. All we are missing is the king. Typical of him to show up late for his own signing.
Barons are clearly upset with the king due to his tardiness, although that shouldn't last much longer because the king is exiting from his carriage now.
Finally!
Where's the document? Let's get this over with.
King John seems eager to finish this up.
You're the one who agreed to this document, King. If you're having second thoughts, you better confront them with us now. If not, we would like to get this over with. So grab your pen and put your seal on this document so we can go on with our day. Woo!
Don't get sharp with me or I'll take actions out on you.
Thank you. Oh wait, you have to sign it.
Oh yes.
Thank you, King. You are free to leave now.
Do not become arrogant. Just because I have lifted my harsh ruling, I am still more powerful than all of you.
That may be true, but you are obligated to share the power with all other members of Parliament. So even though you are more powerful, we will not be caught in your unrighteous laws. Because of this document, you will not be able to kill freely, and you must respect the rights of the common man. We will now have a court of law that will judge each man fairly, and which guarantees that justice cannot be sold or denied to anyone.
We will see about that.
King John, you just signed the Magna Carta. How do you feel about signing a document that didn't support your beliefs in ruling?
Well, I was forced to sign the document by my barons and vassals. They believe my ruling was harsh and unfair, but I don't see how you can be a successful ruler without being harsh and strict. It teaches your kingdom discipline, which I believe is a key factor in creating that successful and prospering kingdom.
I wouldn't consider your ruling methods as disciplinary. According to the barons, you overtaxed them and ignored their traditional rights. It seems more like taking advantage of them. What do you think?
I did no such thing. My barons were ignoring my laws as king.
But that doesn't mean you can inflict such harsh rulings on them.
Yes, it does. I'm king.
Alright, let's settle down now. Now, do you think that the Magna Carta will affect the future of England?
I hope not. That would mean in all the kingdoms and villages would not have a proper monarch to give them into their life. They would grow up with the idea of shared power, which I believe is not right.
The townspeople in Barron think it's a good idea and is correct and fair.
Who cares what the townspeople think? They're a bunch of filthy, no-good people who do labor for us.
Well, that's all we have time for today. Thank you, King, and I hope you change your opinion on the Magna Carta and the townspeople. Now we will go back to the newsroom where Sam will be interviewing barons, asking them how they feel now a year after the signing.
Now we will be interviewing the barons about how they feel about that King John signed the Magna Carta. They will talk about why they're happy that King John signed it. Thank you for agreeing to this interview. My first question is, what are your feelings about King John?
I don't like King John. He is extremely unfair to us barons. He taxed us very heavily and ignored our traditional rights. And if any of us disagreed to his rules, we would be sent to jail.
Oh, that sounds bad. I heard that you wanted King John to sign the Magna Carta. Why was that so important to you?
So that we could have all of our rights back and we wouldn't be heavily taxed anymore.
How'd you get King John to sign the Magna Carta?
we had to force him to a meeting with us next to the River Thames in a meadow called Runnymede. There we insisted that he put a seal on the Magna Carta to show that he would follow the rules that were laid out in the document.
My last question is, how do you feel that King John signed it?
All the barons are very happy that he signed the Magna Carta. Now we will be able to live freely.
Thank you for giving me this interview. As you can tell, the barons are now satisfied with King John because he signed the Magna Carta. Over here.
Yes, sir. What is it, sir?
Go collect the taxes from the barons and tell them they will be losing more of their land to me, and try to make it fast.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
Hey, fellow barons, do you feel like King John has too much power?
Yes, he does. Let's force him to sign the Magna Carta.
We won't have to pay high taxes or constantly give up land if he does. And we won't have to fight and bicker with him anymore.
Yeah, let's go make him sign it.
No, I will not sign this document. I refuse.
You must give up some of your power or we will run you out of office.
Okay, I will sign the Magna Carta, which makes me give up power, lower taxes, and stop taking so much land.
Yeah, we did it. No more unfair king.
Hooray, what we wanted all along. Thank you for joining us for our special newscast edition.
See you next time.